Hello everyone, my name is Kieran. Welcome back to another Manchester United preview on the channel. Tonight is not just a preview of myself, I'm joined by two very special guests. Two guests which I haven't had on the channel before, so it's great to have them on. First one is Mr. Jack Wall. Say hello, man.
Hi Kieran, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and his YouTube channel and Twitter links are in the description down below, so please do go and check them out for some great content. And also, if you want to interact with him on Twitter, his link is also in there in the description down below. And we also have Asim from The Tactical Show. Hello, pal.
Get down in comments. Heated debate.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Up.
Thanks for coming on, Asim. Really appreciate it. And as I said, his links are all in the description down below, YouTube, and also I threw in his Twitter link as well. And if you want to interact with me on Twitter, feel free to do so. My link's also down there as well. Twitter's a lovely place for football fans to go. A lot of people in the stream right now. Welcome to everyone. Welcome Ipswich Town. Welcome Football Fan Fever. Man United fan Stan, Roberto Beswick, the resident Juventus fan there, so I'm sure we're getting a lot of opinions from him. Sick Ball wants to stream, also another Juventus fan, so already two Juventus fans in here tonight. Rasmus wants to stream, and welcome Mr. Money Gaming. Welcome everyone, thanks for joining. Please do leave a like if you haven't already as well, and check out these guys' channels in the description down below. All links are there, so don't be afraid, go check them out. But the first thing I want to talk about, and the first discussion point I want to talk about, before we get into like the game and how it might play out, there's one major storyline from a Man United fan's point of perspective, and that is Cristiano Ronaldo coming back to Old Trafford. And I just want to start off by asking you, Jack, how excited are you to see Ronaldo back at Old Trafford?
I mean, since the draw came out, I've been looking forward to this. He's my favourite United player of all time. I remember going to see him in 2009 at Old Trafford when we beat Chelsea 3-0. And he was just unplayable that day. I think he got 2 assists. He was unbelievable. And it's just to have someone like that in your club's history to come back, and I'm sure he's going to get an unbelievable reception. And he deserves it. He's a fantastic player, world-class player. And, yeah, he deserves everything he gets.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, those were the glory days, weren't they? 2009, 2008. That's the perfect team. You know, Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, brilliant, absolutely brilliant team. But yeah, no, he was fantastic for us, and I'm sure he'll get a good reception, as you said. What about you, Asim? What are your favourite Ronaldo memories, and are you excited for him to come back to Old Trafford?
He's coming home. He's coming. Ronaldo's coming home. Yeah. I'm so excited to see Ronaldo. Obviously, not in a Manchester United shirt, which is
I hope he
a bit
doesn't
of a
score.
shame, but you can put your money on it. He probably will score. That's how good he is. He's the best in the world, without a doubt. In my opinion, at least, he's done it everywhere. If you talk about Jose Mourinho winning it everywhere, this guy Cristiano Ronaldo has done it everywhere, and he has won everywhere. He's gonna win the title at Juve as well, surely. But my favorite moment, obviously. Well, I was going to say when he missed the penalty because obviously we won the Champions League final. Him just running down the wing, really. Viva Ronaldo.
Yeah, no, I mean, you both touched on that. I mean, the way he played was just sort of great to watch. And we don't have that. Those sort of players don't come around that often. And when it does, it was just so great to have him at United. And you got to say props to Sir Alex Ferguson and the recruiting team at the time for picking that sort of gem out, because there's not too many that come out. But yeah, obviously it's going to be such a big occasion for Ronaldo to come back, and I'm sure he'll get a big reception from the United fans. But ultimately, there is a game also being played. There's a job at hand. So, you know, we're going to be talking about that in just a second. I'm going to read a few of the comments. Man United fans, Dan wants to stream. He says, I think Man United will beat Juventus 3-1. Interesting. I'll tell you what, it's a confident prediction. It's a confident prediction. But you know what? Who knows? If we turn up, let's see. Roberto here says, lol, can't wait till we beat the hell out of United. Tell you what. So we've got two ends of the spectrum there. One Man United fan very confident, and then a one Juventus fan very confident. You know, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of heated debate in the comment section. But we're going to get on to the actual game at hand. Now, obviously, our last game against Chelsea, I thought the first half wasn't great, really. The second half, though, was probably some of the best football we've seen United play, especially with the calibre of opposition we're playing in Chelsea. To go out there and to come back like that and nearly hold on as well. I mean, it still kills me that we conceded that late goal, but to nearly, hold on. I'm going to come to you, Asim, first on this. Do you think, how do you think we're going to be able to keep up that sort of form that we showed in the Chelsea game into the Juventus game? Or do you think we need to potentially, change the way we play? Do you think maybe we need to change our style of play to suit Juventus more? What do you think?
Well, playing for the last 30 minutes of the game, what we did against Chelsea, to be honest, because first 60, Chelsea had it all. It was all ball possession by Chelsea, as Sarri said. But the last 30 minutes, obviously, that's what happens when Martial gets the goal and the momentum switches the other way. I think pressing Juve, attacking them, they have a very, very good defensive line as well, so it will be a challenge, but hopefully we can get through.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, that defensive line Juventus is pretty ridiculous. I mean, you've got Chiellini, Bonucci, you've got, Canelo, and obviously Alexandro as well. I mean, they've got a brilliant defensive line, but, I mean, for me, yeah, if we can keep up that kind of last 30 minutes, last kind of half we played against Chelsea, if we can, have that style of play of, being able to turn over the ball quickly and actually do something with it, because for me, with Juventus, we're not going to have too many opportunities, so we need to take the ones we get. What are your thoughts on it, Jack? 'Cause I know you've got an interesting thought on how we should approach this game.
Yeah, so obviously, United, a complete contrast, I think, from the first and second half against Chelsea. First half, we look kind of scared to go at them and kind of attack them, and in the second half, we kind of threw that out the window. I think that's due to the team selection Mourinho as well, because this season mostly he's employed two defensive midfielders for most of it, whether it be Matic and Pogba sitting there or Matic and Fellaini. And I think it was refreshing to see Juan Mata in that midfield, just to kind of link that forward and midfield lines together. And I think it really helped us. And for the Juve game, obviously Juve are a very strong team. They're absolutely crushing Serie A this season, won all their games except for the one that they just drew this weekend against Genoa. Look, they're averaging 21 shots per game in Serie A. Like, they're absolutely on fire. I think Ronaldo is the linchpin of that team. He's just 5 goals, 4 assists for them this season. He's doing incredible stuff. But they are going to have to slightly alter the way they play for this game. I don't know what the Juve fans think in the comments, but Mario Mandzukic is out with an injury, and Dybala is so-and-so. So I think Ronaldo will deploy through the centre and probably have Douglas Costa on the left-hand side and either Fernando Bernardeschi or Cuadrado on the right-hand side, which will slightly change their play, but obviously Douglas Costa is still a world-class player. And João Cancelo, we have to watch out for on that right-hand side. And whoever's playing on that left wing has to either follow João Cancelo when he does attack, or stay and gamble, and then we can try and exploit João Cancelo when he's out of position. But it is going to be a tough game.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. I mean, they've got quality players throughout the pitch. I was actually looking at both of our strongest lineups. I was trying to think of positions where we potentially might have a better player than they do, and I was looking, and I'd say the only certainty would be David De Gea. I guess he's probably better than Chesney. But apart from that, I'm looking, and there isn't too many positions where we outstrength Juventus in terms of their lineup. So it's going to be an interesting one, definitely. I just want to welcome Max Worth. Welcome to the stream, mate. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. And yeah, keep getting your comments in, guys. Don't worry, we're reading them out. Rasmus says, several years under Moyes, everyone was saying Bayern will batter United. What happened? 1-0 at Old Trafford and 2-1 in Munich. No barring, and this time the difference will be that we'll win both games. I tell you what, there you go. Confidence from the United fans. I like this. I like to see it. Max says, trust me, Mourinho will bring fire to this. Well, there you go. I mean, to be fair, Mourinho, at the end of the game, whether he's antagonised or not, he did show a lot of passion there, which I didn't mind at all. I thought the guy who kind of ran past him was a bit of a knob, to be honest, but we digress. Roberto, from a Juventus fan point of view, says, the only player that scares me is Martial. Well, in the current form Martial's in, which, it's great that he's coming into this sort of form. We're finally seeing almost the true Martial, which is great to see. Hopefully he does, play a good game against Juventus. I think he will have to play a bit more of a conservative role. But yeah, I do think he'll have an impact on the game. But By the way, welcome Sirens Melch, by the way, and welcome Fortune as well. But ultimately, I think, some of the players will have to have a bit more of a conservative role. We probably won't be able to be as expansive. Some may argue that maybe we should just go toe-to-toe with them. Maybe we should just, go attacking and see what happens. But I think we do need to play a bit of a shrewd game here. And for Fortune, from a Man United point of view, so we've already had the Juventus point of view that Martial's the only player that scares PJ7. Fortune says the only player that scares him is Ronaldo. Well, yeah. I mean that's natural.
I have
that
to
is
disagree
natural.
with that.
Oh, hey, go on, go for it.
I think Juve have got a lot more players than Ronaldo on this team. I think their midfield it's strong and it's balanced. You have the likes of Blaise Matuidi up and down. He's got an engine like not a lot of midfielders have in world football. Sami Khedira, who can play that defensive midfield role, and then Silky, Miralem Pjanic in midfield. That midfield is a very strong midfield, and I think for United to contest in that, Pogba has to be on his game. And then you've got Juve's wingers as well, like Douglas Costa. I think a lot of people forget how good this man is when he's on form. He is absolutely rapid, and he's got a few tricks in his locker, and he can hit goals. He's a good finisher as well, and same for Juan Contrado on the other side. Rapid pace, really good skills, and has a cross on him. And if the balls do come into the box, I'd fancy Ronaldo, unfortunately, to get his head on one of them. But I'm still confident that we can get a result.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, you mentioned there are a few. Juventus, as I said, they've got some brilliant players in their squad. Obviously, Matuidi, you mentioned, Douglas Costa, Dybala potentially as well. Again, I mean, I'm going to come to you, Asim, as well. I mean, Jack mentioned some players there. Who for you is Juventus' main threat?
No one. We've got Ashley Young. He'll pocket anyone. No, no, seriously. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo. Cuadrado is the one for me, especially him knowing the conditions of England. He played for Chelsea, and I think it was under Jose Mourinho as well. So he's got a bit of a history with Jose. It was, yeah. So he's got a bit of a history with Jose Mourinho. So you'll have to look out for him.
Cuadrado, another name. I mean, the names keep coming, don't they? The names keep coming. It's not.
But I think also the Juve fan who's saying he's only scared of Martial is also being a bit naive there as well, because United do have quality players. Look at Paul Pogba. Like, he is, on his day, he is a world-class midfielder. We saw it at the World Cup. If he's on his game, you have a point to prove. He's playing against his old club. He knows a lot of teammates from his old team, Juventus, and I think if he is on his game, United have a big chance of winning this game, because Pogba is everything that Pogba does well, United do well. And I also think if we can supply Romelu Lukaku, he will finish eventually, and he will get that confidence back. And I think he is another player who is big and physical, and is going to give Chiellini and Bonucci a big challenge there at centre half.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, obviously, it is quite easy to, talk about and eulogise about, the good players that Juventus have. But we've got some assets of our own, which you mentioned, Pogba as well. I think he's going to be a big player in this game. If he steps up, if he can step up against his former team, I think we could be in business. And Lukaku, I do feel sorry for him at some points, because I feel that for some United fans criticise him for his lack of energy and the fact he's not really running in behind. But for me, I feel like he doesn't get enough service, or at least as of late, he hasn't been getting enough service. Yes, it's very annoying when he does miss kind of an easy chance, but he's definitely not like a 1-in-1 or 1-in-2 striker. He's a kind of 1-in-3, 1-in-4, 1-in-5 striker, which, like it or not, I think he can be elite. I mean, we saw against Burnley, he scored 2 goals with the first 2 shots he had, and he can be that sort of striker. But we have to realise that the quality of the passes and the quality of the assists we try and give to him, has to be there, or else he's not going to be as effective. A few comments coming in here. Roberto here says Douglas Costa will destroy you. Well, obviously, Jack's mentioned now how good Douglas Costa is. I mean, we're all aware of it. We've seen it also, for Bayern Munich as well. He was a fantastic player. But he is a very dangerous player. Fortune says, he really won't. Ashley Young is the Lord and Saviour. Well, there you go. I mean, to be fair, he's pocketed now, Hazard and Salah, so you never know. But I think Valencia's still out, isn't he? I think he's still out, so I don't think we'll be seeing Antonio.
Hope he's out.
I don't think we'll be seeing Antonio Valencia. But yeah, guys, keep getting your thoughts on the live chat. Also, just another mention, if you want to go check out Jack or Asim's channel, all their Twitters, all their links will be in the description down below. I really recommend you guys go and check these guys out for some great content. And yeah, if you want to interact with them, go and check them out. Links in the description down below if you like what they're saying and you want more of it. But obviously, we talked a bit about Juventus's strengths, but we're now going to touch a bit on how we have to kind of go about it. I mean, obviously we've talked about the kind of style of play, but we're going to talk about in terms of individuals. And I'm going to touch on one man, again, someone who's returning to his former team, Paul Pogba. Now, potentially you could argue in the last, I mean, obviously in the second half against Newcastle, he was fantastic, and the second half against Chelsea, he was very, very good. The Chelsea match, he was a bit slack on the marking, but I think actually his performances overall have not been too bad. I'll come to you, Jack, first on this one. How do you think Paul Pogba's role is going to potentially differ in this game, or like how do you think he needs to approach this?
Yeah, I think obviously Paul. We all know Paul's quality. He's a great player. He is going to have to be disciplined in this game, depending on his team selection. He has been good for us in the Champions League so far. He wasn't so hot against Valencia, but did have a very good game, albeit against young boys. Obviously, he's quality on the ball. He can tackle. People who says Pogba can't defend. Pogba can defend. He's physical, good tackling ability. He can do everything in this midfield. It just depends if he's on it and if the players around him are helping him. Because a lot of the time when Pogba gets the ball and there's no one around him, he's like trying to hold up the ball, trying to do a flick, and people say, why is Pogba doing that? Because there's no movement around him. So I think a lot of what Pogba does need good movement around him, but he is going to be, I think, a key factor in this game. If Pogba's on it, we have a huge chance of winning. If not, it could be a long night for United.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that actually. But I think Pogba does need players around him. It's a good point. I think a lot of people, I think I saw. I don't like to mention him, but Graham Souness was talking about Paul Pogba, and obviously he didn't have anything really positive to say. But I mean, I think it was actually Jamie Redknapp, the other guy there, who said that it's not all Paul Pogba's fault.
Yeah.
There should be other players who need to step up around him, and I think he is right. I think obviously Pogba, as you said, will be a very big factor if we do go on and win the game or get a good result. But there needs to be other players around him who are going to step up and help him out as well, because whether even if he does have the passing range that he's got, he can't do it all himself.
Yeah. And I think if you look at the teams that Pogba has played for before, he's like at Juve, he had an unbelievable midfielders there. Arturo Vidal, who in that Juventus team in his prime was unbelievable, box to box. He could do everything: intercept, tackle, get forward, score goals, pass. And then he had sitting a little bit deeper, one of the best passes of all time, Andrea Pirlo, who was just pulling the strings for that midfield. So Pogba didn't have to pull the strings like he has to do in this United team, because he is the best passer, because Andrea Pirlo was there. And he did have, again, Arturo Vidal, who was so energetic. And then even if you look at the France team, he's got Kante in behind him. Probably the best defensive midfielder in terms of tackling, interceptions, winning the ball back and playing simple. And he had someone like Blaise Matuidi again, who Juventus have, who is another engine. So it's quite similar in the two midfields that he's played in before, whereas he's got Matic, who, don't get me wrong, Matic can be good at times. He's just very slow and lethargic on the ball. And then I feel like Pogba thrives with someone who's a bit more energetic, someone like a Fred, someone like an Ander Herrera, who can kind of move around the pitch quickly and intercept balls and try and feed it into Pogba.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. I mean, we see in the French team, in N'Golo Kante in that World Cup, I think made Pogba look very good. And even Pogba came out and said that Kante does a lot of the running for the team. And I think Paul Pogba, I think he's at his best when he's not, tracking runners and things like that. I feel like he's at his best when he's got the ball at his feet. He can pick out a pass, and he can, he's got the skills to do that. And I think, if he's got players around him who'll help him out, like Matic or like Herrera, as you said, I think he'll be all right. What are your thoughts, Asim, on this one? How do you think? I mean, obviously it's going to be a very emotional night for Paul Pogba. Playing against some of his former teammates. How do you think, he should conduct himself? How do you think he should, play this game? And how do you think, Mourinho should play this game in order to get the best out of him?
Well, by attacking, obviously. But people were saying he can only play in a in that World Cup, he played in 2 with Kante. Yes, Kante, the best CM in the world at the moment. That is N'Golo Kante. We have Matic. Saying having Keita, someone like Keita, would have done the job behind Pogba, but obviously we don't have that facility at the moment, and we'll have to stick slow and sloppy Matic. To be honest, I don't really blame him. He needs a rest, a bit like Romelu Lukaku, but Mourinho isn't giving them that rest. I don't know why. And
I don't know what you think about this, Asim, but Ander Herrera hardly been used at all this season. Do you not think that he could slot in where Matic is, because he is energetic? He does at one point a few seasons ago, his interceptions and tackles were very similar to N'Golo Kante. He's tall, he's strong, and he has that quality on the ball. Do you think he could play that role in behind Pogba?
Yeah, absolutely, and he can even man mark very well, as we've seen before, as well as maybe dropping Lukaku, dropping Rashford up top, and bringing Andreas Pereira to the right. It's a possibility, but Jose obviously doesn't like to take risks. I can't say the word at the moment, especially against the big teams. That's the one, especially against big teams. And Lukaku doesn't score against big teams. That's a fact, as Rafa would say.
There you go, yeah. But no, yeah, I mean, it's very interesting tactical-wise how we're going to play this. But I think, yeah, I mean, on Herrera, so I'm just reading a few of the comments, I will get to them in just a second. But yeah, on Ander Herrera, I think he could do a job for us. He's done it before, and I think, you know, if Mourinho, I think he definitely is very, very trustworthy, and I feel like he could do a job, and I think we might see that sort of man-marking job, or, you know, a bit more of a defensive job by one of the central midfielders tomorrow night, because we've seen it a lot with Mourinho when he's brought in someone like Herrera to, you know, kind of mark someone or mark a bit of space or something like that. I agree. I think Herrera does have the credentials for that. But I'm going to read a few of the comments. Thank you guys for commenting, guys. Really appreciate it. Please do keep your comments coming in as we keep chatting. Roberto says, and if United win, I'll give credit as always and give credit where credit's due. Because he also says he thinks it's possible for United to win, but he doesn't see it happening. Fair play, fair play. I mean, yeah, I mean the way it's weird, because if you looked at that first half, you would have thought there is no way we're beating Juventus. But then you look at the second half, and it's like, well, you know, why can't we? But I hate the fact that we're only a one-half team. I wish we could have been a 90 minutes team instead of just a one-half team. Fortune says Herrera or Fred should start. Juventus would struggle with quick passes through the midfield. Yeah, I mean, I think their midfielders. They're quick enough. Their midfielders. You've got McTweedy, who's very much engine-like. He's got a real good engine on him. He's very good getting up and down, and he's very, very solid. But I mean, it's going to be really. I mean, I think Mourinho is going to probably stick to a quite solid midfield three. But again, we'll wait and see. Welcome Ryan, welcome to stream, thanks for joining, and welcome Red Army MUFC, welcome for joining, thanks for joining, guys, really appreciate it. Please do leave a like if you haven't already as well, that'd be absolutely fantastic. And also go and check out these guys' channels and social media in the description down below if you haven't already, really would recommend it. Ryan coming in with a 3-2 victory, well, tell you what, I love that, absolutely love that. It would be an epic game and we get the victory as well. And Fortune says Eric Bailly should start over Lindelof to try and stop Ronaldo in the air. As hard it would be, yeah. Well, I mean, it's an interesting one. Obviously, the centre backs have been chopping and changing. You know, kind of like musical chairs really at the back. We've had Smalling and Lindelof, Smalling and Bailly and Lindelof, Smalling and Jones. We haven't really had a consistent centre back partnership. Obviously, we're kind of starting to see one in Smalling and Lindelof. I'm going to come to you, Asim. Do you think that we're going to play Smalling and Lindelof as a back two, or do you reckon Eric Bailly is going to come in for this one?
I know Mourinho would stick with Smalling and Lindelof, but I would chuck all three of them in there. I'll play three at the back with Bailly in there just to have that extra height advantage, because both goals against Chelsea were set pieces in a way. So clearly that's a problem. So sticking that extra defender who is good in the air would obviously help us massively.
Interesting. 3 at the back from Asim there. What are your thoughts on that, Jack?
I personally wouldn't go 3 at the back. I can see why Asim has said that. But to be honest, I'd stick with Lindelof and Smalling, I think. Look, against Newcastle, obviously, the centre-backs kind of went all over the place. But I think against Chelsea, they were relatively solid, kept physical striker. Realistically, Atham, I don't really think the set pieces. One of the set pieces, Paul Pogba loses, man. I don't think that's got anything really to do with centre backs. And the second one, I'm not really sure it was a set piece. It was more Aspilicueta lumped it into the box.
Those balls were played in the air, and not having Eric Bailly. I thought Eric Bailly was going to come off because I remember him bringing Darmian on when we beat Liverpool right at the end. I'm surprised he didn't bring that defender off, and I think it cost us the game.
I think, looking at it, I think I keep Lindelof and Smalling, because I think Smalling is very good in the air. And like you said, someone to try and stop Ronaldo in the air. I think Smalling can do that. He's very physical in the air. Yes, he is accustomed to a shirt pull, but I think he is the best man to try and stop Ronaldo in the air. He's tall, he is physically strong, and he is good at heading the ball. And I feel like Lindelof...
Yeah, what do you think? He's not going to stop Ronaldo in the air. He could stop in the air, not just once but twice.
I'd rather see... I think Smalling has a better chance of doing Bailly, to be honest. He isn't as good as people think he is in the air, actually. I think he loses his man quite a lot. He gets lost in the flight of the ball. I think if you actually look at his heading stats, they aren't that impressive. But I think I keep Smalling in Lindelof, and I play a back four because I think it's just the right thing to do. Keep the same kind of shape.
Well, yeah,
he played in the second half against Chelsea.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I mean, to be fair, it's very good to see two different points of view there, and a nice little debate.
Yeah.
I mean, just listen to it. I mean, you both make good points. I would say trying three at the back would be interesting, definitely. And I think we haven't really seen a three at the back formation from Jose Mourinho. I
think actually, to be honest, if Jose wanted to try three at the back, we have played three at the back against Tottenham and against West Ham. And if he wanted to play Smalling, Lindelof and Bailly, he would have done it by now. But he stuck Ander Herrera and Scott McTominay in there, which shows that he's clearly not confident with Smalling, Bailly and Lindelof. So that's why I just don't think he'd go for it. And I think he will stick with Smalling and Lindelof.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, but whether him sticking in, McTominay and things like that is kind of an up yours to the board for not bringing in a centre back. Well, I don't know, but I mean, yeah, I think I doubt he'll play three at the back. I feel like if we're going to predict it, I reckon he'll play two. But I think it's an interesting suggestion, Asim. I have to say, for playing.
Yeah, I would say it is actually quite an interesting suggestion.
Yeah. But I'm going to read a few of the comments here just quickly. Thank you guys for getting your comments in. Roberto here says he's subbed to Jack. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. I'm sure.
Cheers, Roberto.
As well. Yeah. Also, guys, if you guys haven't already, what are you doing? Go and check out their links in the description down below.
Anyone is better than Joe's. 100% agree.
Oh yeah. Renami MUFC goes with a 4-3 Man United. Oh, that would be a classic, an absolute classic. He goes with Ronaldo hat-trick.
Scored 4 goals all season.
Wow, Ronaldo hat-trick back at Old Trafford. It would be a magical night for him if that happened. But I mean, I wouldn't be too unhappy if he scored a hat-trick, but we won the game. I'd be happy with that.
I'd take that every day of the week.
Yeah, exactly. Ryan says Juventus are better than us. They're finishing in the league and Champions League in the last 5 years has been brilliant. Yeah, well, I mean, as you know, they have been fantastic. You know, we went through a few of the stats at the start. You know, they are a brilliant side and they've started really well this season. But I think, in these sort of Champions League nights, it does depend on who turns up on the day. We saw that when we played Sevilla. Sevilla just turned up and were miles the better side than us. So, in the Champions League, it's whoever turns up, really. Renami FC says, we will win. There you go. We will win because Juve will be leading against us, but we'll always seem to play better when we're down during a match. So, Renami FC, they're suggesting that maybe we need to go 1-0 down early to win the game. I mean, to be fair, it has been a theme. We have been going down and then actually coming back into it recently, and we did a lot of that last season, and I hate it. But yeah. I love the fact we come back, but I hate the fact that we have to wait until we're 1-0 down. Cause
I think the games that we've gone goals down have probably been the best performances from the Jose team that we've seen in the past few years. Like, you look back at the City game, even Chelsea at home last year where we won 2-1 after going 1-0 down. Obviously, the Newcastle game came back from 2-0. Chelsea game, we didn't win, but we came from a goal down to lead 2-1. I think when we go a goal down, there's something lights that spark inside, and it always seems to happen, that kind of shift at halftime 1-0 down against Chelsea last year at halftime, 2-0 down against City. There's just something about he must be delivering good team talks because there's a complete contrast when we step out for that second half.
He must be. Yeah, I know. I don't know what he says in there. I don't know if he threatens them with something. I don't know, but whatever he's doing, it's working. It's working. So we'll carry on.
Keep him at it.
Yeah. As I said, guys, please do check out their links in the description down below. And yeah, go and subscribe to their channels. The Tactical Show, obviously, Asim does a brilliant job there. And I think it recently hit 50 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So congratulations to you for that. But yeah, Rasmus here says for set pieces, he says, just send Pogba out of the box. He's always losing his man. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I guess, you know, you want as many bodies in there as possible, but
especially with someone of Pogba's height.
Yeah, I think Pogba can. I feel like he can defend, but it's just sometimes he just switches off. And I mean, when you're playing these big games, you can't switch off like that. But you know, I think with that height in there, as you said there, Jack, and also Lukaku. That's why I like Lukaku being back there, because even though obviously last season we saw against Man City, he kind of was unlucky with the deflections and things like that, gave away 2 goals there. But having those 2 presents in the box, along with the likes of Matic, Smalling, these sort of players, you know, you're very good. You know, we don't tend to concede too many corners. Obviously, yesterday that was Pogba losing his man, but I think in terms of defending crosses, we've actually been quite solid. So,
and I think Pogba will be determined to kind of not lose his man this time and stay focused and prove that he can do that job.
Yeah, totally. I think especially after Mourinho's probably, you know, talked to him about it as well. But we're now going to move on. Keep getting your comments in, by the way. We're going to move on now, and we're going to get into a bit of a kind of lineup prediction kind of thing. Now, I mean, obviously, I don't have like a proper lineup set up. Obviously, I'm not professional like that, as you guys can tell. I'm a bit off the cuff, but I have a kind of visual memory of it in my head. I hope you guys have got you know, a bit of a lineup as well prepared. It doesn't have to be, you know, if you can't name the whole 11, whatever, it's fine. But I'm going to come to you, Asim, first on this one. What is your predicted lineup for this game? Who do you think needs to start in this game?
Do you want my lineup, or do you want Jose Mourinho's lineup? Who do you think?
You know what? You're the guest, Asim. So I'm gonna say your lineup. Give me your lineup.
Well, if I was a United manager one day, De Gea in goal. I would go Young at right back, Shaw at left back. I would go Smalling and not Jones. Relegation. Smalling and Boy. Smalling and Boy. And I would go Pogba. Fred and Herrera. I would drop Matic. And then I would go Martial, Rashford and Pereira.
Ooh, Andres Pereira. He's getting a mention. I like that a bit. You know, I like that. But yeah, interesting one there from Asim there. Obviously, that's not his prediction, but if that, I mean, I think a lot of United fans will be happy with that. I think you know, having Rashford, Martial, and Pereira up there, a lot of pace. There's a lot of pace in there. And also interesting, you picked Smalling and Bailly as well. So it's interesting. But yeah, there is Asim's lineup there. Obviously, you guys are getting your lineups in the comments there. I'm going to come to Jack now. Jack, who do you think should be starting for United in this game?
Yeah, so I have two. I have my one and then Mourinho's one. They're completely different. But in my one, De Gea will be in goal. I keep Ashley Young at right back. I'd like to see Delo. I think he has a slight knock as well. And I think the challenge of Douglas Costa, I think Mourinho won't want to throw him under the bus, even if he was available. So I'd stick with Young. Luke Shaw at left back. I think that speaks for itself. Player of the month two months running. And I'd stick with Smalling and Lindelof. It's not ideal, but it's at the moment the best pairing we have. I'd stick Ander Herrera in. I think he's the kind of player in this kind of game that could be the key to our midfield winning the battle. I'd then play just ahead of him Pogba, and I was him and Han about playing Fred or Mata. Stuck with Juan Mata. I thought he played really well against Chelsea. I think it would be harsh to drop him. I've gone for Martial, keeping his place on the left. He played well on the left, keep him there. I've gone for Sanchez on the right. because I want to see Sanchez back in the team. He scored against Newcastle. Even when he came on, he was trying to make things happen against Chelsea. So I'd stick him on the right. If it's not working, you can always swap it around. And I keep Lukaku through the middle. Like, even though I do believe he needs a rest, I want to keep this kind of realistic as well. And I think Lukaku will play, and I'd probably play him anyway.
Yeah, no, it's again interesting. I mean, yeah, I agree. I think it would be harsh on Mata to kind of, not let him keep his place after a brilliant performance. But yeah, I'd agree with both lines. To be fair, I think, I've got to say as well. I mean, Asim's mention of Andres Pereira, that caught me off guard. To be fair, that caught me off guard. But I've got to say, Jack, your lineup again. I probably, I mean, if I was the manager, I'd go with that as well. And I think, I think that front three, that team should have enough to beat Juventus, and obviously your inclusion of Herrera in there as well as being the key. I think that there's no doubt we'll see someone with that role, whether that be Herrera or somebody else in that midfield, Matic potentially, or maybe one of the centre backs. Who knows? I just want to say welcome Rodney, welcome to stream Rodney. Thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. If you want to go check out his channel as well, his link in the description down below. I'm going to read out a few of your predicted lineups because you guys have been getting them in. Jack Vlogs wants to stream. Thanks for joining. I haven't put on my green screen. I was having a few problems with lighting and things like that, as you can tell. So I haven't been able to kind of do the green screen today, which is annoying. He goes with De Gea, Young, Smalling, Lindelof, Shaw, Pogba, Fred, Mata, Lingard, Martial, and Lukaku. Unfortunately, I have to inform you that Lingard is injured at the moment, Jack. So unfortunately, Lingard can't be in the lineup. But otherwise, again, I think that's plausible, definitely. Also interesting, you've included Fred there as well. Roberto now, obviously the resident Juventus fan. His says the Juve lineup will be 4-2-3-1, Szczesny, Sandro, Chiellini, Bonucci, Canelo, Pjanic, Matuidi, Douglas Costa, Dylaba, Bernardeschi, and Ronaldo. What's there to be scared about there? Oh, goodness me. But yes, very, very solid there. I mean, inclusion of Douglas Costa, Dybala, Ronaldo, Pjanic, and that strong defence as well. I mean, ridiculous. Ryan here goes with De Gea, young captain there he's mentioned as well. Smalling and Lindelof, so keeping that Smalling and Lindelof partnership. Shaw, Matic, Pogba, Shaw, Matic, Pogba, Mata, Martial, Lukaku, and Rashford. So yeah, I was going to say, I mean, now I've seen that comment, that Ryan's predicted lineup there was going to be my lineup as well. So that lineup that he's stuck in there of De Gea, Young, Smalling, Lindelof, Shaw, Matic, Pogba, Martial, Mata, Martial, Lukaku, and Rashford. That was what I was going to go with as well.
Okay.
Fortune says the same thing you said. I would use Ryan's lineup, just replace Matic with Herrera, to going with Jack's suggestion there. Ryan also says Juve with experienced leaders at the back and speed in midfield and wings, then Ronaldo up front. Exactly, it is just ridiculous, isn't it? Rasmus here with his lineup says De Gea, Delo if he's available. I think Delo's available, yeah. If not Young, Bailly, Lindelof, Shaw, Fred, Pogba, Herrera, Pereira, Alexis, Martial. I'm not sure whether Alexis is going to be available, to be honest. I've heard rumours that potentially he could be out, but who knows about that one.
Jose said him.
I just remembered that Sanchez isn't available. I just remembered hearing that in the press conference. So instead of Sanchez, I'd keep my same team, obviously, and then I'd probably put Rashford on the right.
Fair enough. I mean, there's not too much we can do, really, to be honest with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, as Jack says there, thank you very much for that, Jack. Obviously, Sanchez probably won't be playing in this game. Whether that'll be a hindrance or not, who knows? Rodney's 11 here says De Gea, Smalling, Lindelof, Shaw, Delo, Pereira, Matic, Pogba, Mata, Rashford, and Martial. Well, there you go. It's very interesting there from Rodney. No Lukaku in that one. Pereira as well in there. And Delo. So 3 kind of surprise entries in there from Rodney. I like that. I like the originality. But yeah, no, I think potentially starting Pereira in that midfield. I think Pereira was a bit unlucky because at the start of the season, I think he was performing quite well. It was just because obviously the result against Brighton and Spurs, Mourinho had a big reaction to that. Obviously, Bailly was sidelined for a bit. Pereira's been sidelined for quite a lot, and he's Mourinho's the kind of manager who will make big changes after a loss. So he's, unfortunately for Pereira, he has been sidelined for a lot. But I would like to see him come back into the side. Fortune says, all jokes aside, Juventus are a very good team. Yeah, totally agree. MUFC says, but there's a chance Romelu's confidence can plummet even more. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not sure whether it's an issue of confidence with Lukaku or... I mean, I feel like if he did get a proper chance, I think he would stick it away. But you could argue Lukaku hasn't really had many proper chances in the last few games.
Yeah.
So I think his confidence is fine. It's just getting those chances. But I mean, let's hope we can give him some good service, and maybe what Ronnie's done there, playing Delo as well. With his crossing ability, could give him some better service. Who knows? Also want to say welcome to Wyatt TV, Wham's a Stream. Thanks for joining. Please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Also, check out Jack and Asim's links in the description down below, my guests for this evening. So go and check them out. Really would recommend it. And Rasmus finally says, I wanted to try Alexis up front because Lukaku's been chasing shadows since Burnley game. I guess even that game he missed is. Yeah. I mean, look. People do talk about Lukaku and his lack of energy, but for me, as I said, I just think that I think it is due to his lack of chances being created. I mean, I guess I'll throw it out quickly to you, Jack and Asim. I'm going to start with Jack on this one. Do you think it's to do with Lukaku's kind of barren scoring run is to do with lack of chances, or is it lack of energy? What do you think?
First of all, I don't think it's confidence because he goes away with him. And then you look at that, he's scoring goals. Why? He's got the likes of Eden Hazard in behind him. The man who creates chances for fun. He's unbelievably good on the ball, dribbling, passing. And he's got those players around him who are creative and do give him the service. And clearly, as you've seen, when Lukaku has the service, he will score goals. There's no doubt about that. He is a good finisher. Yes, he might miss the odd sitter, but so does every striker. So even Cristiano Ronaldo missed the odd sitter. So, yeah, I don't think it is confidence. I just think it is a lack of service. And if we can find a way to get service into Lukaku, there's no doubt he'll score goals. Because we saw last season, compared to his conversion rate compared to Harry Kane's, Romelu Lukaku's conversion rate was better. It's just because Harry Kane scored more goals because he got more chances because he had the likes of Dele Alli, Heung-min Son, and we weren't creating those chances for Lukaku. So it's definitely not a confidence issue. It's just a lack of service, in my opinion.
There you go. I mean, I tell you what, I love the use of stats there as well. I love the stats to back it up. But yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, everyone talks about how Harry Kane is, but I mean, I think Lukaku scored 27 goals in all competitions as well last season, which is not too bad at all in terms of really kind of.
When you look at it, Robin van Persie scored 30 goals that season. He apparently single-handedly won us the league. Lukaku scores 27, and he's a donkey who can't finish and lacks confidence. It is a bit contrast in the opinions there, but I think Lukaku, when he gets the service, he will score goals.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Asim, what are your thoughts, mate? Do you think it's the lack of confidence from Lukaku, or do you think he's lacking energy?
Bit of both, to be honest, because even when he wasn't at Manchester United, he still wasn't scoring against big teams. For Belgium, he misses quite a bit of chances. I don't think he's been watching Belgium, but the thing is, with Belgium, their style of play, attack, with De Bruyne and Hazard, creating chances. They make so many chances that makes Lukaku look good. Even though he misses those, I wouldn't say odd sitters because he misses them quite a bit. But yeah,
I have to disagree with that.
He needs that rest most certainly, because even when the international break comes, he's playing for Belgium, and when it's the EPL, Mourinho is obviously going to stick him in.
I agree he does need a rest, and it could be a slight lack of energy, but I definitely don't think it's confidence. And to say that he does miss a lot of sitters, I think is quite harsh, to be honest, because if you do look at the conversion rate stats,
I didn't say a lot.
Conversion rate is exceptional. Yeah, but he misses the odd sitter. He misses.
And I was on about the big teams. If you want to play for Manchester United, the biggest team in the world, you can't just not score.
100%. I agree with you, Aslan. But look at the games we played against the big teams. We beat Spurs 1-0 last year. Lukaku scored against Chelsea and got an assist when we beat them at home. He played really well in the game that we didn't create a lot of chances against City away. All the big games that we played last season.
That's what I was saying.
Had a huge chance in the game. But he had a huge.
It's on Mourinho as well, because he's not playing that style of play that he gets at Belgium.
So I think it's harsh to say he doesn't perform against the big teams. If you look at all the performances Lukaku has played well against the big teams. He might not score against them, but he got an assist against Spurs, assists against Chelsea, goals against Chelsea. Like, he is playing well against the big teams.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I've listened. I mean, again, dynamite stuff, absolutely dynamite stuff. But yeah, no, I think that obviously, I mean, obviously, yeah, last season Lukaku did make an impact against big teams, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's. I think in terms of like, yeah, go on, Asim, mate.
When we were at Anfield, obviously Jose was going to park. Great result, to be honest. But he should have buried that chance against Mignolet. Yes, he ain't the best keeper in the world. He's one of the worst, in fact. Mignolet, he should be burying that 20+. And that's a huge, huge game. Liverpool, that's the biggest in this country. They are Field's biggest rivals. And if you're not doing it...
I agree with that. He should have put that chance away. But look at the other chances. That was the one chance we created in the whole game. Is that enough for any striker?
Yeah, that's
Absolutely
what I said.
Not. One chance in a whole football match just isn't enough.
That statement. That is why I partially agreed. I didn't fully agree and I didn't fully disagree. I said,
no, I understand what you're saying, Asim, and I'm sorry if I'm coming across a bit brash, but I think to say that Lukaku isn't performing against the big teams, yes, he probably should have finished that one chance against Liverpool and probably should have scored that one open goal that he missed against Tottenham.
Spurs as well, that
I literally
if that had went in, we might have not lost that game.
100%. But maybes. I mean, we had other chances. Jesse Lingard missed a chance in that game. Other people missed chances in that game. It's not just Lukaku. And to say he's not performing the big games.
Lukaku is the 90 million striker, so he has to step up.
Pogba is a 90 million midfielder, and
he does it.
To stick as well.
City, he does it now. But the thing with Lukaku and Pogba is a midfielder and Lukaku is a striker.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but if you look at the big games last season, I think that Lukaku made a bigger impact in the big games than Pogba last season.
I partially agree with that as well. Simply because of the fallouts with Lukaku obviously getting on with Mourinho and Pogba not. And Pogba partially not playing for Mourinho in some of those games.
I'll tell you what, this could go on all night long, of course. Yeah. But, for me, I guess the last word on it from me, but I guess, you guys will have your different opinions. But for me, I think it is there's definitely lack of chances go into it. And I mean, obviously there are some times where I do think he should maybe make a bit of a different movement or maybe make a bit more movement. But I think, against Chelsea in that first half, I think we had about one shot in the whole half. And I think for a striker, especially when he's playing up there on his own, really. It's very, very difficult. And that's why he needs players like Martial, like Rashford, like Pogba, kind of close with him so they can do link-up play. We saw last season he had like the likes of Lingard and Martial playing next to him. He was able to link up with those guys and make runs off the ball. So, but hey, I mean, this can go on for ages and ages. But obviously, I'm a bit conscious of the time, to be honest, because we have been going for a long time, and I don't mind going for a long time. I don't mind, but I want to read a few of these guys' comments as well. But as I said, if you want more of that dynamite stuff, go and check out their links in the description down below if you haven't already. Jack Ward's YouTube channel and Twitter is in the description. And if you want to go subscribe to the Tactical Show, link in the description down below as well. As you can tell, you will not regret it if you do. So let's see, a few guys. Wyatt says, I've been subbed since 170 subs. Well, thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it. Jack says, he said things aren't clicking at Manchester United. Well, I mean, it's sad that's obviously with Sanchez, things aren't, clicking or whatever. But I think it's going to be difficult for him to, get adjusted. But I think in another argument, he has been there, 8 or 9 months right now. So, I have a bit of sympathy, but not as much sympathy as I did when he first started. A few people here having some points on Lukaku. Ryan says, no, RVP made impact all round and scored big goals in big games and small games. Lukaku is slow, stiff, and has little quality. Ryan there with the very scathing opinion of Lukaku, of course. Yeah. But that's fair enough. What are your thoughts on that, Jack? Just quickly.
I don't know if you noticed the second goal that United did score. When Martial took that touch, Lukaku, I don't know if you noticed this, but Lukaku makes an unbelievably good run, peeling off from his left shoulder, and that completely vacates the space. And if Martial hadn't taken off the shot, he just lays that to the side. That's the one-on-one for Lukaku. So his movement, a lot of people don't know, is because our players don't seem to release the ball quick enough. But Lukaku does have good movement at times. I do agree that people say he is slow and lethargic at times. And I just think that's because he's overplayed. And he does need a rest sometimes. But yeah, I agree with some of the guys in the comments there. I agree with Rasmus there, that RVP did score more crucial goals. But at the end of the day, goals are goals. And Lukaku did score them last season. And he has got 4 in the league this season. So, I mean, he's not doing awfully, but he is struggling from a lack of chances and maybe a lack of energy at the moment. Yeah,
potentially. And as you said, Rasmus there says most of Lukaku's goals aren't as crucial as Van Persie's. Yeah, I think Van Persie obviously will, want us to title. And I think if Lukaku had a title in his hand, I think everyone would be if we actually won a title, I think a lot of people will be looking at Lukaku as one of the main men. But the fact that I think the fact that Ron Van Persie won us the title, or was one of the main shining lights in winning us the title, and Lukaku, obviously last season we didn't actually win a trophy. Maybe that's a factor in how people are judging it. Jack here says Lukaku is getting fatter because I was slimmer. He was slimmer in the game. Now he's slower because he was carrying more weight. Therefore, he's not scoring enough goals because of his weight. He should slim down. Well, there you go from Jack there.
I saw that point. If you know the True Geordie, he does a live stream called The Kickoff, and that was a point raised during that live stream. And it actually, Lukaku has put on a huge amount of mass from when he first signed Everton.
I think he's
bulked up, but how much of that bulk will affect his pace? I don't think it's fat. I think it is a lot of it is muscle. But it's how much muscle is enough before the muscle starts impacting your movement and pace off the ball.
Yeah, that is a good point. It's a good point. And I think obviously strength is really important in the game, but I just think you do need a bit of pace in behind as well. You do.
Yeah, I don't think Lukaku is naturally strong and naturally tall. I don't think he needs to put on that extra 3 stone in muscle to be stronger. Like, he is strong enough, and with him being a little bit slimmer because he has that strength already, his pace is better as well.
Well, yeah, I think obviously if you're looking back at Everton as well, I mean, we saw some of the pace in behind from him as well. And I think he wasn't as kind of bulky as he is now. But at Everton, he was still scoring. Goals. Yes, obviously not really crucial goals as people would say against the big sides. But he still had a very, very good goal scoring record. A few more comments.
But if you look at the people saying, "Oh, Lukaku didn't score against the big teams for Everton," a lot of games for Everton are actually bigger games because Everton just aren't that quality. Like games like Leicester and stuff like that for Everton, they're the kind of teams who are as good as Everton, whereas like United and Chelsea are comparable. Everton and Chelsea aren't really comparable. So people who say, "Oh, he didn't score against the big teams," because he didn't have that much quality as he does as United, as he does at Everton, and he did that at Everton.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, yeah, it is definitely a lot to do with the kind of the players that he has around him and things like that as well. But we've now come to the stage of the preview, the final stage of the preview, and some would say the most important stage of the preview. Guys in the live chat, get your predictions in right now. Your score predictions in right now for the game. I want your score predictions in. We'll go through it in just a second, but I'm going to start with my score prediction. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think there's no doubt about it. I don't think there's going to be one team that runs away with it. Juventus are a very, very strong side, and I think, but we've got some strength as well. And if we can replicate the similar performance of the last half an hour, or even the second half we did against Chelsea, I think we won't be embarrassed at least, and I think we could potentially get a good result. For me, I'm gonna go positive. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 win to United, and I think it's going to be a very close game. But you've got the roar of Old Trafford. We haven't had too many of these big European nights. I think the last time you could argue was back when David Moyes was manager, when Bayern Munich came to town. I think the fans will be absolutely relishing this opportunity. Ronaldo coming back, of course, and Juventus will be really, really dangerous. But I think Mourinho will desperately want to show all his doubters, everyone, that we can beat these big teams, and we know we can. We know we've got the quality. It's just, actually doing it out there on the pitch. And we need certain, big players to show up. Pogba to show up. Martial as well. I think he'll have a big role to play. These sort of players, these big game players. And also defensively, we need to be, we need to continue our defensive solidarity, because against Chelsea, if it wasn't for two kind of lapses of concentration with balls into the box, we could have come out of Stamford Bridge with a 2-0 win and a clean sheet, which, I think that some of the defensive work really deserved. For me, I'm going to go with 2-1 win. I think Martial and potentially Pogba as well, scoring against his former side. And then I'm going to go with, if Dybala plays, I'm going to go with Dybala getting the 1 goal for Juventus. So 2-1 to United is my prediction. And I'll come to you, Asim, first on this one. What is your prediction for this match?
It's a tough one, but because our defence is shaky and Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be running at it, I don't think we'll win, and I don't think we'll lose. I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. There you go. I mean, I think probably that is a sensible prediction. And I think Asim, would you take a 1-1 draw? Do you think that'd be a decent result?
Not really, because what are we going to get out there in Turin?
It's a good point.
I would agree with that. I think it's a must win in the group, to be honest.
Yeah, must win. So Jack says it's a must win. Do you think we are going to win it?
First of all, even if I didn't think we were going to win, I'd never come onto a YouTube preview and say we're going to lose. So
love that.
Even if we lost the last 10 games in a row, I'd still say we're going to win the next one. And I'm not going to go with the same prediction as you, even though I would say 2-1. For the interest of making it different, I will say 3-1 to United.
3-1 United.
I will go for the scorers being Lukaku, Cristiano Ronaldo, Anthony Martial, and Romelu Lukaku again.
Lukaku with 2. Lukaku bagging 2. I tell you what, that would shut down a few of the doubters. But I mean, I tell you what, that'd be a dream scoreline. It'd actually be a dream scoreline. Yeah. A few of the guys in the comments, Ryan goes with a 3-2 United, as we know. Again, that'd be a brilliant game, especially watching that back on the highlights. Wow, 3-2. Jack here goes with a 3-0 win to Juve. He's not confident whatsoever. He's not confident. 3-0 dropping by Juventus. But Rasmus, totally the opposite, 3-0 United. So there you go. We've got a few fans who are optimistic and a few fans who are not, which is fair enough. Finally, Jack says, who would be the captain? Well, for me, I guess, I think Mourinho's going to give it to Ashley Young, probably. Asim, what are your thoughts on it? Who do you think is going to be captain?
Yeah, Young. I would want it to be Pogba. But obviously
Yeah, Jack, your thoughts, mate?
First of all, I'm sorry to disagree again, Asim, but I literally can't have Paul. At the moment, I can't. But I'd probably give it to Ashley Young. But I just think Pogba.
Young will get it, but I would like it.
I just can't see Pogba. Like, in my opinion, Pogba can't be captain for at least a year or two. He's just too immature. He needs to mature both on the pitch and off the pitch.
I mean,
he needs to start acting. He needs to start acting like a captain to be the captain. Like, if you look at Ashley Young, he's decent on social media, but every time he steps on that pitch, it's no jokes. It's pure passion, screaming at every player, getting their positions, and he's just people might not like him, but he does lead by example. He does lead by example, and I think Young will get it. Yeah.
Ashley Young. Well, yeah, there you go. It's a consensus. It's a bit of a consensus.
Leader, there. Legend.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully he can pocket another. He can have another victim in his pocket.
Ronaldo.
In the club. Yeah, hopefully. But finally, the final thing before we go, Jack says, what formations do you reckon we should play? Obviously, we've gone through the predicted lineups, but just quickly, what formation do you reckon? Then I'm going to come to you first on this one, Jack. What was the formation you play?
So obviously the 4 at the back, Herrera sliding slightly deeper, kind of in that Matic role, slightly in front, and then Mata again slightly in front. So it's like a midfield tree where it's kind of Herrera deeper, Pogba slightly aside, and then Mata slightly ahead for that little bit of link play in between the forward and the midfield lines. And then obviously the 2 out wide, so a 4-3-3 with Lukaku, pinpoint striker.
There you go.
Rashford and Martial on the wings.
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go. And then Asim, is yours similar, or have you gone for a different formation?
For the first time, I'm actually going to agree.
Thank you, Asim.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right at the end. That's nice.
It's a lovely ending point. Oh, so that's saying similar 4-3-3 then, is Asim?
Yeah.
Similar. There you go. I tell you what, 3. We've got a full house here. 3. I'd go 4-3-3 as well. But Jack, bit different. Go 4-2-3-1. Interesting one there from Jack there as well.
I think that can be slightly altered to a 4-2-3-1 to expand on that and the point from Jack.
Chelsea.
Kind of, if you're going for my lineup or your own lineup, you have either Matic and Pogba, Herrera and Pogba sitting slightly deep, and Matic kind of occupying the central in that 3, and then Martial on one side of 3, Rashford on the other, and then Lukaku up top. It could be come across that way as well, but I'd imagine that Martial and Rashford will stay slightly high, so it will look more like a 4-3-3. But if we're defending, they could drop back, make it like a 4-2-3-1.
Well, there you have it, guys. There you have it. There is the preview for the Juventus game tomorrow night. It's going to be a great night. You know, it's going to be a huge European night at Old Trafford. They're back, and hopefully we get the 3 points in the group, because it's a huge, huge game for us. If we do win this, obviously we'll go top of the group, and there'll be a bit of pressure eased off us, even though it will by no means secure our qualification. But it's going to be a huge game for us, and I think it'll send out a big statement as well if we can beat them. So let's hope so. Let's hope and pray we can beat these Juventus lads. But it's going to be difficult, and it'll be great to see Ronaldo back at Old Trafford as well. I just want to say thank you finally to my guests, Jack and Asim. Their links will be in the description down below, so please do go and check them out. Subscribe to their YouTube, check them out on Twitter as well if you want to interact with them more. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Please do leave a like as well. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys as well. I might see you tomorrow for the review. I'm not sure if I'll do it straight after the game or whether it'll be a video or whatever. But that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like. Go and check out these guys' links in the description down below. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. And if I could
just say before you go, guys, make sure you subscribe to Kieran, Red Devil Weekly. Would fully recommend it. He's been nice enough to have me and Asim on tonight. Really good stream, I thought it was. And yeah, make sure you subscribe and leave a like, and make sure you follow him on Twitter as well, because he's been shouting us out a lot. So just to give one back to him.
Well, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Right. I think that's about it.
Yeah, mate, get out. Get out. Right, okay. Thanks for that. But anyway, yeah, no, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for coming on. Really appreciate taking time out of your busy schedules to come on. And of course, you're welcome anytime you want to. Please do. You know, well, stay in touch, and if you guys, as I said, check out their channels as well. But you know, thank you so much. Such a great community here we have. So please do. You know, if you want to support all of us, all the links in the description down below as always. But that's going to be the end. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.